Russia is deeply strengthening its ties with the Alliance of the Sahel states, particularly in the area of energy, as it has signed another agreement with Mali on peaceful use of nuclear energy just after a few days before it has also signed same agreement with Burkina Faso. Now, this agreement was signed during the visit of President Assimi Goïta, the president of Mali, in Russia, where he was for 3 or 4 days official visit, including the prime minister and other official delegation. The agreement of just like Burkina Faso, Mali's memorandum of understanding with Russia was in 2024 with regards to nuclear energy. Now it has entered into force that, them exchanging a document of how the implementation will be. Rosatom is a national energy company of Russia. It has basically an agreement with about 20 countries in Africa, but none other than the Sahel states are really, the rest of them, they are just having memorandum of understanding. But these countries in the Sahel are really pushing it. Look, I'm going to share a video with you, the ceremony of the agreements. Let's watch it a little.
In a move to deepen ties with West Africa, Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted Mali's interim military leader Assimi Goïta in Moscow, where the two sides signed a series of agreements, including a landmark nuclear energy cooperation deal. The deal, signed by Russia's state nuclear agency Rosatom and Mali's Ministry of Energy, aims to explore peaceful nuclear energy development for the African nation. Putin and Goïta also discussed expanding bilateral trade and security collaboration. The meeting reflects Russia's growing influence in Africa, particularly through.
Now, while this is going on, let's turn to in detail what happened in this meeting. So, this agreement basically it creates a legal basis for cooperation between Russia and Mali and follows on from a roadmap for developing ties on peaceful uses of nuclear energy. That is what happens. So it's a continuation from last year where they have signed their memorandum of understanding. Now, the areas covered by the agreement include the creation and improvement of Mali's nuclear infrastructure in accordance with international recommendations, regulation in the field of nuclear and radiation safety, production of radioisotopes and their use in industry, medicine and agriculture, cooperation in the field of application of radiation technologies and nuclear medicine, training, preparation, and retraining of specialists for nuclear industry. These are all the areas of cooperation that these two countries have signed an agreement. Assimi Goïta, don't forget, he arrived in Russia with a special plane sent to Mali to bring the president and its delegation. The same has been done last month when Burkina Faso's president Ibrahim Traoré has attended the 80th victory of Russia over Nazi during the World War. Now, continuing with what happened in this meeting between President Putin and President Assimi Goïta. Let's dive deeper. Now, the Rosatom, this is a nuclear energy company of Russia, which is a government company. The Rosatom director, his name is Alexei Likhachev, said, I quote, the signing of this agreement marks a new stage in the strategic partnership between Russia and Mali. We are pleased to provide our partners with expertise and technology to support sustainable development of energy and science. Joint work in the field of peaceful atoms open up broad opportunities for both countries and contributes to strengthening friendship and mutual trust. Quote close. Now, Assimi Goïta, that is the president of Mali, on his behalf, shared a statement on the official Facebook page of the president, and I quote, it reads like this: this innovative partnership could provide a structural response to Mali's energy crisis through the development of appropriate infrastructure, the transfer of skills and technologies, and the training of national human resources. By strengthening the country's energy autonomy and reducing its dependence on expensive imports, this agreement will significantly contribute to industrial development and national energy sovereignty. And quote close. That is what Assimi Goita on his official page of Facebook page have shared. Now the agreement was signed during, of course, the visit to Russia by Mali's president and other top official government officials, in which they also have signed on creating an intergovernmental Russia-Mali Commission for trade, economic, scientific, and technical cooperation. A third agreement was on the foundation of bilateral relations between Mali and Russian Federation, which demonstrates a shared desire to establish a lasting partnership based on mutual respect, non-interference, and solidarity in international forums. So these are all part of the agreement. This means solidarity in international forums. You know what it means? It means that if something comes up, for example, on the stage of the United Nations or the United Nations Security Council, that condemns or that accuses Mali, or if some kind of resolution is introduced against the interest of Mali, then Russia will make sure as having a veto power to be against it and to veto it. That's what it means. And also same vice versa, when a resolution is introduced, something against Russia in the United Nations Security Council, then Mali has to vote against it, which actually the Sahel states have been doing it. I mean, a number of resolutions have been introduced by the Security Council of the UN, and they have voted against. So they have been bold with whom they're aligning. But I wonder, why, if Russia, if there was no this Ukraine war, will make countries, whenever they have this bilateral agreement with countries in the world, will make them sign that says international solidarity. I don't know. Is it the experience of their war with Ukraine, and how much that has some, a number of sanctions and resolutions have been introduced by the UN, and they are taking a lesson and now they are incorporating this phrase here, or was it there all along? I'm not sure. Usually when we read, or as far as my reading is concerned, so it just something is generalized as bilateral agreement in trade, security, this and that. Maybe it was there, I don't know. But the fact that now we read it clearly, international solidarity on international stages, then we know definitely to what it is referring to. So I was just wondering, maybe Russia has taken a lesson because of, what it has suffered with a number of sanctions by the UN, and countries, particularly African countries, being in bed both with east and west. They are not really independent, so they're trying to please this one, to please that one. So they are so much unpredictable, let's say that, they are so much unpredictable when it comes to Russia and China. But however, Russia and China, having that veto power, they always consistently have stood by Africa. And whenever there is something introduced against the interests of Africa, they have, they veto it. So that is what I wanted to reflect. Now, following talks, back to this agreement between Russia and Mali, okay? Following talks which lasted more than 2 hours, Russia's President Vladimir Putin said, "Our countries have maintained good and trust-based relations over many years. We established diplomatic relations 65 years ago and have continued to cooperate ever since. Over that time, more than 10,000 specialists from your country have been trained in Russia." Do you remember? I mean, Russia is, a country that does such a thing. These trainings, countries going to Russia, people going to Russia, these socialist countries, right? Cuba, I don't know, you name them. And not really other things. It's just uh, they do train people, and those people come back to the country, and they don't stay there. Usually they come back just one generation back. It could be our fathers or mothers. I remember during the Derg regime, even if I was a very little child, but I do remember there's a lot of things that is connected with Russia. Okay. Now, Assimi Goita, on his behalf, said, I quote, "Our cooperation is well established in many sectors, including transport, security, culture, sports, and energy. Thanks to this partnership, we are achieving positive results. All of this demonstrates the effectiveness and trust between our countries." That is what they have exchanged publicly, these countries. It's, when I read that phrase, meaning because thanks to your partnership in security, what else did I miss? Security, transport, energy, culture, sport. In all this, our country is now experiencing this positive or achieving positive results. That's tangible. Look at it now. Actually, Mali is really following the footsteps of Burkina Faso. They are all a confederation anyway. One does it, the other will follow. But how really they are on the same page, these countries. Now, Mali has launched, in fact, the president himself has laid a foundation stone on the new gold refinery plant that's going to build in the country. And Burkina Faso has done it already. It's being built and it has amended the shares of the gold. In fact, everything that has to do gold with the output, their governments paid, and unpaid paid and free share with those gold mining companies in the country have increased. And for the first time, everything that has to do with gold, the country's production has increased as well. So they are really not just talking, they are walking the talk. That's what makes them really significantly different, to stand apart from the rest of the head of states in the continent, because the rest, They are just giving lip service to the people. They are playing with the emotion of their people. They know what the youth want to hear, so they just give it to them by being rhetorical and saying, oh, we like Ruto, for example. That is the best example, saying we're going to reform AU, we will stop this being summoned by the summit, this and that, we will have just representative. Well, no, that didn't happen. And then Kenya will be visa free. No, that did not happen. Ruto, oh, I am all about the African Continental Free Trade Area. No, on the other hand, you in fact are going and signing the EEP, the Economic Partnership with European Union that allows the European Union countries to dump their products in Kenya, while you are pushing away the market from a neighboring country. So you are killing African continental free trade. So basically, Ruto is the best example in the continent, but it's all of them are the same. So the Sahel states they're all about implementation, and they say they deliver. There's no problem. Okay, this is what also the Botswana president said. Ibrahim Traore dreams something. He wakes up, he says, I am going to do this. Next day, he is in action. If it's going to be built, he's laying a foundation. That's what he does. And then in the next 3 months, already the factory is there and it has started to process. That is what the Sahel states do. But when you come to the rest of the country, oh, we have to approve it by the parliament, and it goes to parliament. These paid people in the parliament that sit there for 3-4 terms, regardless of government changes or the president change, they are just there. They don't leave that, all the free access. And then also they are paid by neo-colonial power, so that whenever something is introduced against the interest of the colonial powers, they do their thing, their dirty job by sitting there. That's what we have. Well, but when it comes to SALSE, there's no bureaucracy. You think something, it's for the people trust their leaders, and it's done. In the next week, it's all laid out and it's in action. Well, now concluding this, so Mali and Russia have signed their document for peaceful use of nuclear energy. The same thing happened, I think, June 17 or 18. Also, Burkina Faso has done that. The memorandum of understanding was signed already a year ago. Now this is that will bring them to action after this signing. That was it for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Let us know in the comment section what do you think about this. Russia has already with more than 20 countries in the continent signing, to develop nuclear energy for peaceful use. But it's just memorandum of understanding. Critical thinker, has Mali opened itself up to storing Russian warheads? Is this the camel's nose under the tent? Well, I don't know. Well, Russia is there definitely in the Sahel states because they're helping them with fighting against the terrorists there. Well, thanks again. Please let us know in the comment section, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.